Press the bell icon and never miss an update from ETAuto.
American premium bike maker Harley Davidson has been center of some power talk in the last few months, or rather we should say it started a year ago when Donald Trump talked about the high import duty on the American bike. Today we have here with us Mr. Peter MacKenzie, Managing Director of Harley India, and he is also in charge of Greater China. Welcome to ETAuto. As I just mentioned, that Harley Davidson is a brand that is in talk and quite at a high level. US President talks about the higher import duty. You have only 4 products that you are importing at CBU. 12 products are already CKD. So what kind of impact does it really have on your business in India?
We don't believe we'll see a significant impact. Yes, there's a reduction there, and any reduction is always welcome. However, the larger portion of our portfolio is actually locally produced.
So as Mr. Trump said that even 50% tax that has been lowered to 50% compared to 100%, 75%, now 50%. But still he doesn't seem convinced. What is the right amount of tax in custom duty you think is fine for people like you or the manufacturers like you that will be good for you?
I don't have a position on what would be the right amount of tax. As I mentioned earlier, the greater portfolio that we produce is CKD, so there's benefits there, and the smaller portion that we do import, 50% is the tariff, and that's what we need to work around, and we'll continue to offer Harley Davidson products and services and deal with whatever the relevant local tax authorities deem as necessary.
If we look at 2017, for Harley it's been not so exciting year because in most of the markets, US, Europe, Asia, everywhere you have seen decline. What could be the possible reason and how do you want to bounce back?
It's difficult to put your finger on one particular element. Each market is uniquely different in many ways, whether it's tax and duty structure, whether it's lifestyle, whether it's riding, whether it's weather. There's so many variable elements out there that make it. But we think one of the portions is that in some of our larger, more established markets, there is a more aging demographic. So perhaps more people are getting retiring off motorcycle riding, and so markets like India with a younger demographic lend themselves to potential growth opportunities for us, which is the reason we're continuing to invest and try and grow our brand relevance and accessibility here in India.
So you think India is a market or a country where you see greater potential than developed market like US and Europe going forward? That's what you're trying to say?
I think they lend themselves to more opportunity in ways, yes. So if you look at the demographic here in India, it's much younger than our demographic in the US. We're seeing emerging middle class that are looking for more lifestyle orientated products. And Harley Davidson, it's not just a motorcycle for commuting, it's really about a total lifestyle. And so as we see people wanting to acquire those types of brands, we believe there's definitely a future in some of these emerging markets.
Where's India currently placed in your top ranking markets and how do you see it going forward?
Yeah, so we don't break markets down specifically on an individual basis. Certainly India is the largest two-wheel market in the world. However, we're not playing in that space. We're playing in a lifestyle, premium 600cc segment. But nonetheless, India continues to be an important part of our portfolio. I think an example of that would be our recent investment in the Harley Davidson University here last year. It recently opened. The fact that we're still bringing the Softail, expanding our Softail platform here. We have many riders who have purchased a street or a sports to Harley Davidson here who are looking to migrate to perhaps a bigger Harley Davidson. So we're trying to make sure that we're meeting that demand and listening to what customers are looking for both today and in future.
It's been 6 years almost when you took over Indian operation. You're already working in China as well. What is the difference do you see in these two markets? How different these two markets are and how do you deal with that?
Yeah, interesting question. So culturally there's vast differences between the two countries, so I don't like to make any comparison there. The only similarity I do see is that Harley Davidson went to both of those markets less than 10 years ago. So leisure motorcycle riding culture really didn't exist here in India, and it really didn't exist in China. So I think we started that momentum of growing the sport of leisure motorcycle riding in both markets. And today, both markets are of similar size with regard to sales volume and with regard to our dealer footprint presence across the market. So that's the similarity there. However, India is certainly more of a commuter market. China has stricter regulations around riding inside city limits that fortunately here in India that regulations don't exist.
In the mid to long term, where do you see India featuring in global map of Harley Davidson in terms of value, in terms of volume?
So it's already part of our a significant part of our international
Does it
global
feature
strategy.
in top 5 market? When do you see
Well,
it?
it depends what you're referring to. If you're talking about top 5 markets in sales volume, well, potentially India's growth with an emerging middle class, with with so many people here who could potentially afford a Harley Davidson, then if you're looking at market potential, it could be.
You have already started assembly of 12 models right now in India, but your localization is still at lower level. How do you see this improving going forward? Because that will make you more competitive as a lot of new players are coming in your domain, in your segment.
Yeah, certainly the sub 500cc segment is the biggest segment here in India. That's the commuter segment. And currently we don't have a product in that portfolio. But we also see that the larger displacement, 600 and above, leisure motorcycle culture is continuing to grow. I think that all the competitors that are coming to market after us is an indicator that the demand and that the culture is changing here more towards a leisure motorcycle riding culture. So.
But do you want to get into below 500cc market also here in India, like 300, 350 or 400cc?
Well, we continue to listen to our customers all around the world and what do they want from Harley Davidson. So I can't speculate on future product, but we constantly listen to what customers are looking for.
What kind of investment plan you have for India going forward?
Our investment to date has been significant, both with manufacturing facility, with a region, with a sub office here, with a Harley Davidson University here. I think it's fair to say, as a premium bike leisure motorcycle builder, we've invested significantly in India.
So we have seen that some of the premium bike makers like BMW, Motard, Triumph, they all have tied up with Indian manufacturer to be more accessible to the masses as well. Does Harley Davidson also have some plan, or will you be open to such collaboration in India?
Well, perhaps those people were looking for someone to partner with for a manufacturing base. We have our own manufacturing base, so I don't know if there is a necessity to do that at this stage.
So coming back to again Harley Davidson India's plant, do you think India is a force that could take you, China, look at China. You say that China and India is right now competing and they are almost equal market. But going forward, how do you see China in your global equation? Do you think it will be a top 10 market, top 5 market in terms of volume, if not valuation?
Yeah, both markets have the potential for us to grow, by bringing there's so many potential customers that could enter the Harley Davidson brand. But to them, leisure motorcycle riding may not be relevant yet. So we need to continue to grow that relevance. Depending on how that relevance grows, there's a very large potential for significant growth in both markets.
What is your current level of localization on those 12 CKD products?
It's quite high. The street is completely built in India, and the other products are CKD. Some are semi-knockdown. So there's different levels of.
What is your plan in this direction? What is your strategy?
Strategy at the moment is to celebrate our 115th anniversary, to be more accessible, more relevant to more customers. So whether that's through a dealer footprint, whether that's through having great events that enable people to interact with the Harley Davidson brand, continuing to grow our Harley Owners Group membership. They're some of the best brand advocates you can have anywhere in the world.
So how many more dealerships you are going to add?
We have some more dealerships coming up this year with some of our existing business partners already, which will enable us to continue to be more accessible.
Do you want to use India as an export hub also? going forward, a strong exports hub. Do you see that opportunity here?
Well, currently the Street 750 is exported out of India to the
You want
international
to add
markets.
more model there?
You know, I think we're consciously listening to our customers on both what they're looking for from the brand and then supply chain management, how to get product to market faster. And currently we believe our current portfolio is delivering to the market requirements.
Thank you so much, Peter, for talking to me.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your time.